6 years ago, I bought this 1989 CT-56. I loaded up my puppy dogs and did a total refit on the boat. It was a lot of work. It was all worth it, though, as I got to sail her down to the Caribbean. I sailed her over 5,000 miles and had a great time exploring the ocean. Unfortunately, 4 years ago, I had a transmission fire while sailing her around Cape Hatteras and had to sell her. It was a pretty trying time, and things could have been a lot worse. And now I am buying the Nauti dogs back. Once again, she still needs a little bit of work. So Amanda and I are rolling up our sleeves and getting her ready to once again sail back down to the Caribbean.
Just what I need. RV problems. I mean, we've got a whole boat to work on now this. So like, we have the space heater going on just to kind of augment the propane heat because, you know, we're using a lot of propane and it's cold. It's like 25 degrees. So we got to run the heater a lot. So, but I think I don't know, when I checked the power this morning, the battery charger was not charging the batteries, so the batteries are running down. So I don't know, I unplugged the space heater, turned it back on, I reset the breaker on the inverter charger, and so far it's charging the batteries without that thing plugged in. So I think maybe it doesn't like the inverter, that the inverter doesn't like the space heater or whatever, I don't know. We're running low on propane, and so now we got to use more of that. I'm trying the electric heater, and it worked yesterday, but now it's not working. So just what we need is RV problems to diagnose and fix when I got a whole boat to work on. I mean, now if everything else works, it's just a pain. We're gonna have to, like, once a week, we're gonna have to go get propane in the RV because the propane heater uses a lot of. I mean, it was almost full. It was probably 80% full when we got here, and now it's already down to a third. So you know, we've only been here a few days. So.
We decided to let our RV problems wait to another date and headed to the boat to get to work.
Back on the boat. Rained all day yesterday, so took some time off. Gonna get to work on the boat today. Basically, all the teak on the outside needs to be redone. So, unfortunately, that's a lot of work. I'm gonna start scraping on the teak using a heat gun and see if I can get the old varnish and stuff off easy. Kent has already started on one side, so I'll continue on that side and get to work. I've been out here for a couple days now working on this, but didn't film it until now. So, you know, this boat has a ton of teak. It looks beautiful, don't get me wrong. Teak just looks absolutely gorgeous when it's done right. But the problem is it takes a lot of maintenance. So what you got to do is at least once a year, you need to do a light sanding and then put 3 or 4 or 5 more coats of varnish on it. And then it should maintain for a long time. Problem is, if you don't do that, the UV will eventually get to it, and the varnish starts failing and peeling up, and you know, just looks crappy. So you know, I did the varnish on this personally. I did epoxy and then a varnish over top, and epoxy doesn't hold up UV at all, so you got to keep putting varnish on it. You know, the varnish has a little bit of UV protection in it, epoxy has none. So if you don't keep it up, it just starts flaking like you see here now. And so, but once it gets to the point where it is flaking, there's nothing else you can do except you got to sand it back, or you know, I'll show you how I do it tomorrow. But you get a heat gun and a scraper and scrape the epoxy and varnish off, and then sand down the rest of it. And so it's really labor intensive to get it back down to that wood. I've been working on it about 5 hours for 2 days in a row, so about 10 hours total. I figure I got about another 15 hours to go to get, I mean, not the rest. So it's got, you know, eyebrow rails and these dorade boxes and all that stuff that need to be redone. But yeah, I'm not even counting that. That's going to be something else later. But let's see what Miss Amanda's doing down here. How's it going?
It's going. We've been here for what, 3 hours? We've been here for 3 hours. And I've done the forward head and this guest cabin, and that's it. So it's going slowly but surely. I just don't want to, I want to be very detailed.
Come on, Merlin, you can do it. Come on. You can do it. Yeah, good boy. Good boy, Merlin. Cougar, you want to try it? Come on, Cougar. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, a little food motivation there.
They're learning. They learn very fast.
Yeah. The interior, we're gonna leave the carpet for now. It's not real high on the priorities, but we may refinish the floors in here because the floors are gorgeous. They just need probably to be refinished. And so we may pull the carpet up eventually and put it back to the wood and put a rug down there. We're gonna leave the red velour and then do kind of navy and light gray accent pillows. And then we're gonna get rid of the storage ottoman and get the exact same one but in navy. And then the chairs on this other side, we're going to get rid of those, and we're going to do some either gray or navy, probably gray, like barrel swivel chairs with storage ottomans in front of them. Just because if we use the swivel, we can use this forward desk as you know, an office desk type thing. Hey, in the little dining, you know, breakfast nook, whatever you want to call it, we're also going to recover these cushions. It's going to make a navy, like a marine faux leather. Should be real durable. And in here, we're just going to leave the red and do kind of like the color schemes in here right now, red and navy. Leave the curtains and all that back there, although we'll probably leave them open most of the time. I mean, right now they have them closed because it's, you know, cold weather and all that, but it really is a nice view out the back having that. So we're just gonna leave that and do navy and gray, the same kind of accent pillows that we have in the front.
We were planning to spend a few weeks working on the boat while I was on the hard. There was lots to do. It took a week, but I eventually got all the teak sanded down and ready to apply varnish. Although it was too cold, we need temperature above 60 degrees.
All right, I've been working on the boat for about a week now. Well, we didn't work every day. Took a couple days off because we had to edit and stuff like that. But I've been working on this teak forever. There's so much teak on this boat. It looks beautiful when it's done, but it's a lot of work if you don't keep up with it, especially. But one of the things that is going to help out here is I'm going to have the bottom painted. So you get this anti-foul, a blade of anti-foul paint, and basically you paint it on. And anytime some kind of organism attaches to it, like a barnacle or whatever, the paint will just ablate off, and so that animal will fall off. And that paint needs to be done about every 2 years. And so I have a lot of other stuff for the teak and everything, but TotalBoat, TotalBoat.com has sent me the ablative paint. So the guys here at Ted and Todd's Marine, they are gonna sand it because the bottom has not been sanded down to the fiberglass and for a very long time. I think there's like 4 coats of anti-foul on here, so they're gonna sand all this off and put 2 fresh coats of the premium ablative. It's a 2-year. It should last 2 years, as opposed to some of the paints only last 1 year. And so they're gonna sand it down and put 2 coats on there, and it should be pretty good. So I am going to bring the paint in for those guys to use. So I've got 10 gallons of the ablative anti-fouling paint, multi-season, so 2 years there. And then another gallon of, it's a different type of ablative paint. It's specifically designed for aluminum hulls. So the dinghy, I'll show you that in a minute, it's looking pretty fugly. The bottom has a lot of growth on it. I need to flip it over and power wash it and then clean it real good, and then paint the bottom of it with that ablative stuff so it stops getting stuff on there. But I need to run this stuff into the office.
Well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's lonely without you. And when I'm dreaming,
The guys at Ted and Todd's Marine Services already went to work sanding the bottom.
when I go out, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And when I come home, I know I'm gonna be.
All right, they are sanding the bottom to prep it for paint, and they cleaned up the prop. They're gonna put some prop speed on it, but they're gonna wait, I think, till they actually paint it and do all that till right before we launch. All right, so yesterday I took care of a lot of the wiring and cleaned up the electric. I bought a new amp for the stereo. I'm gonna wire the stereo in a couple days. It's supposed to be like in the 20s, so I'll do all the inside stuff when it's really freaking cold. But I got some of the furniture in here and got all this stuff going. Gonna leave the red there, so I got blue and navy, or sorry, navy and gray accents, and I got these kind of blue-gray chairs to go with it. I'm thinking I'm going to pull up this carpet and go back to the teak wood and put like a gray-blue rug under there. I think that'll look really good. I'm pretty much finished with the teak on the outside. I got a little bit more to do, but I just got tired of working on it today. And then I've been pressure washing the deck. Let me show you guys that. So I installed this sea deck, must have been 5 years ago or so. It's holding up pretty well, but it's really grimy. So pressure washing it, and that's made a big difference. That's what it did look like. I mean, a lot of that's, you know, dirt tracking in and out, but see how it's really grimy? And then you come over here, and this is much whiter. There are some stains. I've got some rust remover. I'm gonna see if that stuff comes out. If it doesn't come out, I've thought about maybe replacing the sea deck and doing like the faux teak sea deck. Then I did a little bit of it, but the wind's kind of blowing the wrong way. I don't want to like get everybody wet with overspray from the pressure washer, but I need to pressure wash the coach roof and then tape it off and paint it and put some more non-skid paint on the top. But I've done a little bit of section right there already. You can see it makes a big difference. The teak is pretty much ready to go here. I mean, it's a little wet here, so it looks, you know, I need to kind of hose it off. But the teaks all the varnish has been removed and it's looking good. There's only a couple sections in the very back I got to do. All right, it's like 30 degrees outside today, not going to get any warmer, so I decided to work inside and tackle this. This is the electrical panel, like the main, well, the electrical panel's over there. It's brand new. Let me show you that. So the previous owner did a really great job replacing all of that. But this is the, I don't know, it's like a bird's nest of wires. So it's where all the network backbone and the stereo and VHF and all that stuff lives. And it's just, I can't see anything in there. It's just a bird's nest. So I am going to I'm going to get rid of all the dead wires, and I'm going to label everything and get it all spooled up and nice and neat so that I can get it. I mean, I did this back in the day. I probably did half of this shit. So anyway, I'm going to figure it out and clean it up. So here's a before and after.
This is one of those jobs that nobody will see from the outside, but it makes living on the boat a whole lot easier when it's simplified. Eventually, I got everything labeled and organized.
Okay, it's a little rainy today, so I am back at the wiring. Unfortunately, so the speaker wires melted during the transmission fire, and so I got to run new wiring to that. But basically, I had to track down where everything is. You know, because I don't remember everything where this went. So we got one speaker up here, and then there's actually another speaker outside right here. I'm going to get a new one of these because it's got a lot of rust. I already ordered them, so I'll have there. But this speaker wire goes down through here. It is a different wire than this one, so it's two different wires. It kind of goes back through here, and I had to open up this hatch here to get access and figure out which one of these was the speaker wire. So these are the speaker wires over here, and then over there, this one is a speaker wire, and then I don't know, I found it a minute ago. I'll have to look it up again. But yeah, there's several. One of these, I found it a minute ago, which one was the speaker wire. Basically what I need to do is run new wire, because the engine compartment's under here, and this is probably about where it burned up with the transmission right under here. So I'm gonna run new wire from the back here, where I'm gonna hook up this amp in a little bit, and then to the stereo. So down through here into the engine bay under here, and up the other side behind the stairs. So it shouldn't be too hard. But I do have, so the previous wires are still here. They're melted at some point, but at least I can use this as a sending wire, as a message wire or whatever, to pull this down through into the engine compartment. Because that's the hardest part, is right under here. It makes a really strong 90-degree turn, and it's really tight in there, and it's hard to get at. But if I can just get it through there, and it should be pretty easy to get it over there. I've got two little hellions right now kind of in my way, but you know, they'll get tired of it. Hey, quit chewing on the speaker wire. Get out of there. It's the last thing I need is like get it all the way done and then they chew through a wire. Quit it. Stop. Well, what a pain in the butt this was. So ran new speaker wire, 4 different lines from back, at the amp, which I got here. Had to run it down underneath here, through there, under the floorboards in the engine compartment, along the side here, and then up over here, through here, and then over to here. So all the speaker wires run up here this way and on this side to go to the various speakers. Unfortunately, I was trying to pull this wire through with the old wire, and the old wire broke. And let me just show you. It makes two 90-degree turns. So the wire comes up from here, up this pipe, makes a 90-degree turn right there, comes this way, another 90-degree turn, and then it's a really tight gap right through there. I could not get it to go through using, I got some fish tape, and then we got some stainless wire, like really, really thin gauge stainless steel wire to kind of pull it through. But anyway, so I had to pull down the entire ceiling just to run one dang speaker wire. So it was kind of a pain pulling all that down to get at it. Finally got it done, so connect the last little speaker wires and then I'll turn everything on and give it a sound check. All right, the project for the day is to get on the transom of the boat. I've already scrubbed one of the portholes there, but not portholes. But I'm gonna lower the transom and start working on getting some of the rust off the back of the boat. Last time I did it, I just used a bristle brush and started scrubbing it with some polish. And this time I think I'm gonna try my what is that thing? Dremel tool.
There's a ladder and platform that lowers off the transom to help for boarding.
All right, I'll take you down there so you can see how bad the rust is on this. I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe they just never polished it, or like whatever stainless was used back here wasn't the highest quality because it's pretty rusty. So I already polished this one for the most part. It's pretty good. You can see where I didn't get it perfectly, but that one looks a lot better than that one. So last time I used a wire brush. I think I'll try my Dremel tool this time and try and polish it. See how it goes. I'm telling you, having the right tool for the job. So I use the the Dremel tool with the stainless head to polish. What took me 30 minutes to do by hand is done in 5 minutes. So much faster doing it with this.
It's a little hard to hold the camera and the Dremel tool to make it effective, but with two hands, this is really easy. The rust just melts right off. It's amazing how much better it looks.
All right, I've got it much better now. So I polished 3 of the 4 portholes there, and they look really good. This and the center too. I actually got rid of the rust stains on the hull also, so I couldn't quite reach the ones on the outside, so I have to do those from down on a ladder. But looks a lot better already. I need to start removing the name and stuff on here. I already ordered new graphics to put on there. All right, it's about 30 degrees outside today, so I'm working inside. So I'm organizing my front little, I don't know, work area, I guess you'd call it. And so before I put a lot of this stuff away, I want to show you what I got. So this is the forward, you call it the V-berth cabin, basically. Technically, this right here and this would be bunks. At some point they modified it. They put the chain locker, I don't know how they did it, or how it was originally, but they used PVC to get it down there, I guess maybe to give it a little bit bigger chain locker. And then forward, the cabinet's up there. That's where the standby anchor channel, the secondary anchor chain is and all that. But this is all my total boat stuff here. So I'm about to put all this stuff away. So I wanted to show it and talk about it here for a minute. Total Boat, really great place to source all your boating needs there. Everything from paint to cleaners and bottom paint and glosses and varnishes and all that stuff. Then they have all the foam rollers and stuff you want there too. Cheaper than buying it at West Marine, and it's some pretty good products. I do have a link down in the description. You get 5% off if you use that code. But I'm gonna go through all the stuff here that I got from them, and then I'll put it away. So starting off with the varnish. So this is a water-based varnish, and the cool thing is you can put up to 5 coats in a day. So you recoat within 1 hour, and you don't have to sand. And so you know, that's going to be nice to me because I've got the mostly prepped. I've got all the cap rails pretty much ready to go. I do need to go with a finer coat of sandpaper and sand that down to get a nice little smooth finish surface on there. And then I got to come with their surface prep right here. So you get this de-waxer and surface prep. Somebody's starting a motorcycle next to me and I don't know why, so it's a little loud in here. I apologize. Once I get the surface ready to go, I can apply this and I can do up to 5 coats in a day, which is nice because I can do the whole thing in 2 days. So normally with regular, you know, oil-based varnish, you got to go, you know, you still need to put 7 or 8 coats on there and you got to wait like 4 hours in between coats. So you can only do 2 coats a day basically. With this stuff, you can do 5 coats in a day and then with no sanding in between, which is nice because you're supposed to lightly sand in between the oil-based varnishes. That'll be really nice. I can basically varnish the entire thing in 2 days instead of like a week, and then it'll be done. And I, you know, so about every 6 months, I just do a very light sanding on it and apply 3 or 4 more coats, and it should be good to go. It should last a long time. So I'm excited about using that stuff. For the rest of the teak, which would be like the decking inside the cockpit, and there's a few other like accent pieces that I'm just going to use teak oil on, you know, like the bowsprit and all that. Not the bowsprit, but like the decking on front of the bowsprit. I'm going to use just regular teak oil. And so I have a couple different systems here for that. I have 2 bottles of the teak cleaner and then 2 bottles of the teak brightener. So get it nice and bright looking. And then I have a couple of these guys right here, which is teak oil. So after I get it all prepped for using these, I apply teak oil, and then, you know, I can just, you know, wash it off every now and again and then apply more teak oil. Another product I've been using in the galley so far is this White Knight stain remover. In the galley, the counters were pretty grungy and yellow and it wasn't coming up with just scrubbing, and I was a little worried about it because it was looking really yellow and grungy. But we used probably about 2 coats of this stuff on there. You put it on, you just put wipe it on with a rag, you know, and get a nice little coat of it on there and let it sit for about 10-15 minutes and come back and clean it off. We did that like 2 or 3 times, and then now those counters are really nice. So really happy about this stuff. So check out the White Knight. And then I got a couple bottles of their polish for gel coat, you know, enhance the gloss and all that. And then over here we got, so up on the deck, I've got on the coach roof and a couple other places where I don't have the non-skid like foam, EVA foam, I've got, you know, non-skid painted on, and that's all coming up. So it's freaking 30 degrees. I'm not going to do it today, but I need to pressure wash off that, get all the old paint off, get a light sanding on it, then use the surface prep right here to get it nice and clean, and then tape it off and put a layer of this non-skid. It's got like abrasive stuff in it, right? Like not abrasive, but like a grit in there, so it gives you a nice little grip and all that. While we're up here, I got another thing of bottom paint, and this is for aluminum. So the dinghy was looking pretty fugly too. It's got a lot of barnacles. I think it sat in the water for a long time, and so I need to flip that thing over and hopefully I can just pressure wash it and get all this stuff off. And then I'm probably going to put a coat of this on there on the bottom so that keeps that from happening again. What else do we have in here? Just thinners and stuff like that. And then, you know, got all the foam rollers and some brushes and all that. So thank you Total Boat for helping out here. And if you would like to get 5% off, use my link in the description. So I have been organizing in here, and I've got it pretty well organized. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep the shop back. It takes a lot of space. But if that's out of the way, and then I don't know what this is for. Is this for an old dinghy or something? I think I may just throw that away. I'm going to ask the previous owner if there's any reason that's here, and I'm going to throw it away. Man, I'm telling you, like on a boat, you end up just keeping a bunch of shit. And you know what? That's the way it goes. You'll hang on to it for 5 years. You'll never use it. And you're like, why am I hanging on to this piece of crap? It's just in the way all the way. And then you throw it away. And then the very next day you need it. But you know what? That's life. And I think I'd rather have less clutter and need something than have a ton of clutter. And just every time I come in here, just be like, oh, what the hell?
The boat was finally starting to come together, although Mother Nature was about to throw us a curveball. The conditions were already cold, but overnight we got over 6 inches of snow, although the dogs were pretty excited about it.
You said you'd find someone to take my place. I just don't believe that you have got it in you, 'cause we are just gonna keep doing it. And every time I start to believe it, anything you say
All right, it is snowy. A little too much snow for me. So Amanda and I are getting out of here. Well, Amanda's gonna meet me in Miami, and we are going on a cruise. It's my first cruise ever. So, be interesting. It is the Groove Cruise. So it's kind of like a music festival cruise. It's 4 nights, and we only have like an 8-hour layover somewhere in like Haiti or something. So it's like, you know, the point is not the destination, it is the cruise itself. So I just came by to get my cameras and stuff, make sure the boat was okay, and get out of here, because it snowed about 8 inches last night.
It was good timing though, not able to do much work on the boat when it's covered in snow.
Be sure you're subscribed to the channel, and if you'd like to get early access and behind the scenes footage. So we just added the boat disaster video to our Podia. It's Sailing Doodles Navy, so you get access to that, and like you get the hour and 20-minute BBI trip video and all that. So we're trying to give as much things as you can there. You can join for as little as $8 a month, and you get a lot of extra bonus content and everything. Fortunately, I just dropped the dogs off at the kennel. They, you know, we can't go with us on the cruise, but so we'll be away from them for technically 5 nights. Well, 6 nights tonight too, because we don't get back early enough to pick them up the day we get back. So I have to get in the next morning. So, all right, I need to get back to the RV and pack.